the heart of Paraguay, a boy kicked rocks on dusty roads, dreaming of stadium lights. His name was José Luis Chilavert, and he was not born into greatness, but into grit. With bare feet and a fierce will, he defended goals made of wooden sticks and hope. Older boys laughed when he blocked shots with bruised hands but unshaken pride. Every morning before sunrise, he trained alone, chasing echoes of imaginary crowds. His village whispered he's too small, but his dreams roared louder. He studied football like scripture, watching legends on flickering black and white TVs. His first real boots were hand-me-downs, tied with twine, blessed with ambition. At 15, a scout saw him leap like a panther and signaled destiny. He joined Sportivo Luquino, where training was brutal and beds were harder. His reflexes stunned coaches, but his voice, commanding and sharp, stunned teammates. He became captain as a teen, organizing walls like a field general. His rise was meteoric, and soon Europe called, France to be exact. At Stade de Reims, he learned to battle giants in frozen rain. He dove into foreign language and culture with the same ferocity as penalty saves. Crowds jeer his accent, but he silenced them with clean sheets. He studied free kicks during lunch, bending balls like artists paint brushstrokes. A goalkeeper scoring goals was madness. Chilavert made it gospel. His first free kick goal stunned the league, earning him a nickname, the scoring wall. But behind every save was a scar, homesickness, loss, the burden of expectation. Letters from his mother reminded him, "You are the pride of the poor." He taped her words inside his locker before every match. In Spain and Argentina, he matured into a titan, feared and revered. At Vélez Sarsfield, he found his temple, his people, his fire. He led Vélez to championships not just with saves, but with strikes. In 1994, he lifted the Copa Libertadores, kissing the trophy like a lover. The press called him arrogant. Fans called him godlike. He defended his teammates with fists when needed, heart always first. When a referee crossed a line, Chilavert's stare was courtroom and judgment. His voice boomed in interviews, condemning corruption and injustice. He wasn't just a footballer. He was a warrior poet. Opponents feared his penalties as much as his punches. He trained by diving onto gravel, believing pain forged champions. At World Cup qualifiers, he became a symbol of Paraguayan pride. He wore the armband like a crown and roared the anthem with tears. He stopped penalties with fingertips and scored with cannonball shots. Against Argentina, Brazil, Germany, he stood tall, unblinking, defiant. He once shouted, "I defend not just a goal, but a nation's dignity." Kids in slums screamed Chilavert as they blocked shots with backpacks. He gave interviews about politics, education, and inequality. While others advertised shampoo, he invested in youth clinics. He told young goalkeepers, "You don't just save shots, you save hope." Once, after scoring a hat trick as a keeper, he donated his boots to charity. He declined luxury cars and chose to build schools instead. In 1998, he led Paraguay to the World Cup with clenched fists and prayers. He faced David Beckham, Gabriel Batistuta, and Rivaldo with no fear. Against France in the round of 16, he made heroic saves, almost mythical. The world applauded him in defeat, for he had made history. He returned home to a hero's welcome, parades, poems, and promises. But he never forgot the boy who kicked rocks on dusty roads. He funded scholarships for indigenous children in rural Paraguay. He helped rebuild flood-ravaged villages with his own hands. He refused to retire until his body begged for mercy. Even then, he coached local kids in the same boots he wore years ago. He was offered political power. He chose purpose instead. He taught that leadership was service, not dominance. He visited prisons to talk about redemption. He hugged enemies and taught forgiveness on the pitch. Chilavert, the myth, faded. Chilavert, the mentor, emerged. His autobiography began with the line, "My greatest save was my soul." Statues rose in his honor, but he laughed, saying, "They forgot the belly." At his farewell match, global legends bowed before him. He didn't cry until he saw his mother in the front row. She whispered, "You did good, son." The crowd chanted not just his name, but his spirit. In the years that followed, he built football academies across South America. He partnered with doctors, engineers, and educators to shape future leaders. He walked into classrooms unannounced to inspire young minds. His speeches blended football, philosophy, and patriotism. On national holidays, he led parades with school children. A bronze statue was unveiled in the town square. Journalists visited his academy to see the next generation. He trained barefoot with the kids to remind them of his roots. His hands, once feared, now shape futures. Jose turned down political offers to stay close to football. He met orphans and donated sports gear in person. Former rivals now invited him to mentor their own academies. He hosted clinics in Bolivia, Colombia, and across Paraguay. Each session began with a story from his childhood. He taught humility, discipline, and courage above all. A viral video showed him diving at 50, still agile. Fans cried as he performed his signature goal celebration one last time. He narrated audiobooks about self-belief and overcoming adversity. A stadium in Asunción was renamed in his honor. His portrait appeared on postage stamps and commemorative coins. The Pope sent a letter commending his humanitarian work. Chilavert responded by visiting hospitals dressed as Santa Claus. He built safe parks in slums where crime once ruled. Kids drew pictures of him flying across goalposts. He visited inmates to talk about redemption and resilience. Old teammates shared how he lifted their spirits in dark times. One fan tattooed Jose's free kick silhouette across his back. When asked about retirement, he said, "Legends never retire." He laughed at his own statues, calling them too serious. His autobiography topped bestseller charts across South America. He was awarded Lifetime Achievement honors by FIFA. His former jersey was sealed behind glass at a museum. He guest starred in a drama about sport and justice. His free kick goals became lessons in physics classes. A scholar compared his courage to historical revolutionaries. When disaster struck a nearby town, he organized relief himself. He auctioned his golden glove to rebuild homes. Jose walked with villagers in the mud, hammer in hand. Years later, a child from that town became a pro keeper. Jose attended his debut match and shed a tear. He spoke at youth summits, defending the value of sports. He stood with protesters, not as a celebrity, but a citizen. He taught that glory fades, but character echoes. Jose's gloves now rest beside a school flag in his village. Children line up each morning, touching the glove for luck. He once said, "I protected the net. Now I protect dreams." On his 60th birthday, fans held a nationwide celebration. Drone shows spelled his name over stadium skies. He was honored with a monument in FIFA headquarters. Paraguayan presidents declared Jose Day a national event. His daughter read his quotes at international leadership forums. A boy from Nigeria wrote, Jose personally video called to thank him. He hosted global youth tournaments in remote areas. He insisted every child play, regardless of skill. He banned scouts from judging, only supporting. His academy printed shirts that read, "Courage over fame." He turned an abandoned factory into a sports science center. Young athletes trained there for free, no sponsors, no ads. He visited old friends and teammates with homemade gifts. His humble beginnings always stayed at the forefront. He was offered films, endorsements, but chose authenticity. He met his childhood coach, now frail, and thanked him again. Jose's foundation published books in native Guarani to preserve culture. He planted trees at every school he built. His final public speech drew millions online. He began with, "Once I had no shoes. Now I give shoes." He ended with, "The greatest goal is the one scored in another's heart." He waved goodbye with tears, not of sadness but fulfillment. As he walked away, kids kicked balls behind him joyfully. The sun set over the same dusty field where it began. Legends live in memory, in murals, in chants, but he lives in action. In every bold goalkeeper, every child who dares to dream, there's a whisper Chilavert.